Alrighty, this is Algebra 2.9b. So we're working with percents again this time. Let's look at our first problem here. We're going to find the part. So a dress shirt that normally costs $38.50 is on sale for 30% off. What is the sale price of the shirt? Okay, so my total, my original, is $38.50. And I'm going to take 30% off, and that will give me how much I can take off. So if I do 38.50 times 30%, that's 38 times 0.5 times 0.30. 30% as a decimal is 0.30. And this is going to get me 1155. Or sorry, 1155. That is how much is 30% of $38.50. So that's how much I'm going to take off. To find the price of the shirt, I need to subtract those. So I do 38.50 minus 11.55. This gives me $26.95. So the shirt costs $26.95. So a family sells a car to a dealership for 60% less than they paid for it. So 60% off. They paid $9,000 for the car. For what price did they sell the car? So I'm going to take how much it originally cost, and I'm going to multiply by 60%, which again, I need to write as a decimal to be able to put in my calculator, which is 0.6. And if I do 9,000 times 0.6, I get 5,400. That is not my answer. That's how much 60% is. And they took 60% off, so I need to do 9,000 minus 5,400, which gives me 3,600. So that's how much they sold their car for, 3,600. So I do the original times the percent, and then I do original, well, we'll call this X. That gives me X. And then I do the original minus X, and that gets me my cost. Okay, now we're going to find the base. Remember when I was talking last section, when we have the word of, the number that comes after that is our total. So here I have 125 of what number? I'm looking for the base. I'm looking for the total. I'm looking for the base. Is 17.5. So this is how we set it up. We're going to stick our 17.5 over here and our percentage right here with our base right there. So I multiply 125 times my base, which will get me my part, but I don't have my part. So I set this up. 17.5 is equal to 125% times whatever my base is. I need to change it into a decimal because I can't use percent on my calculator. So this is 1.25 times B, and then I divide by 1.25, and I get B equals 14. So 125% of 14 is 17.5. Okay, let's try our own problem. 30% of what number is 12.5? So remember, I do part equals percent times total. I don't know what my total is, but I do know what my part is and what my percent is. So 12.5 is my part, Because remember, of triggers the total. So I don't know what my total is. 30% times B. I can't type 30% into my calculator, so I change this to be a decimal. So it's 0.3 times B. Divide both sides by 0.3. 12.5 divided by 0.3. B is about 41.7 if I round. Alrighty, simple interest. Here's an equation we're going to use, which I will give you on your quiz. I want to calculate the interest. P is called the principal. That's how much money I'm putting in. R is my rate, and T is time in years. So here's an example. Let's do theirs. You deposit $840. Just a second, let me write PRT up here. $840 in a savings account that earns a simple interest rate of 4.5% per year. You want to keep the money in the account for 4 years. How much interest will you earn? So P is how much I put in. So 840 goes in for P. R is the rate. So my rate is 4.5. I need to put that in as a decimal. So if you move your decimal point, here, I'll do it over here, 2 spots to the left. 1, 2, and put your decimal point there. That gives you your decimal. So this is 0.045. And I'm going to put it in there for 4 years, so times 4 also. And then you just type that into your calculator. 840 times 0.045 times 4 gives me, $151.20 in interest. That's my interest. So let's try our own. Again, I equals PRT. You deposit $125 into a savings account that earns a simple interest rate of 1.75% per year. You earned a total of $8.75 in interest. For how long was your money in the account? So this time we're going to solve for T. So I do know how much I made in interest. I know my I. So I plug in 8.75 equals the amount of money that I put in, my P, is 125. I need to write my decimal, or my percent as a decimal. So right now it's 1.75%. If I move my decimal 2 spots and put my decimal there, I get 0.0175, and that's what I plug in for R. And I'm solving for T. So what I can do is I can combine these two numbers right here. I can multiply those out. 125 times 0.0175. And I will keep it exact since the decimal ends. I get 8.75 equals 2.1875. I'm just going to carry this over here so we can keep working down. So I'm just rewriting it over here. Oops, there's a T. I'm trying to get T alone, so I'm going to divide by 2.1875. Excuse me. Divide by 2.1875. If I do that on my calculator, I get T equals 4. So it was in there for 4 years. And there's your homework.